Hello, my name is Donald Carty. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad that you're willing to talk about othering and belonging. I'm honored to be a part of this conversation with you. These twin girls will make us rethink everything we know about race. People think they can see race. You can only see race through the lens of social understanding. It is not just out there. It has a social understanding, a social meaning, and a social practice. We have taken race and expanded it. We talk about othering and belonging, and race is one way we other people. That is to say, you don't fully belong, you're not in the we. Black people in Canada have long fought to be a part of the political we of Canada. The realities of race have not always been welcome in my life, but they have always been there. When I was a young child, it was the constant questions of why I was of lighter skin while my mom and dad were dark. My siblings and the kids in the neighborhood and at school used to tease me about that because my two older brothers and two older sisters were also dark like my mother and father. So who belongs? Who does not belong? There was no one that looked like me growing up. I felt I had always been othered at work or at play. Where did I belong? Where did I fit in? This idea of othering captures all the different ways in which we tell people they don't belong, in which we practice exclusion, in which we practice dehumanization. And it can be about race, it can be about disability, it can be about gender, it can be about sexual orientation, it can be about immigration, it can be about age. So it gives us a much larger lens. Because sometimes when we talk about race, people get a little too narrow-minded and they say, well, first of all, they're talking about race. They're talking about Black people, which is not accurate. We're talking about racialized systems and structures that are actually animated most by whiteness. Not white people, but whiteness. But I think expanding the concept to understand is that what we're really talking about is othering and belonging. And the interventions to othering, as like the interventions to race, is not saming. So the intervention to race is not color blindness or making everybody the same. I would like for you to think of a time when you felt you didn't belong. What were the circumstances? How did you feel? What did you do? Did you stay? Did you go? Now let's think of a time when you felt you did belong. What were the circumstances? How did you feel? What did you do? The intervention to race, the intervention to othering is belonging. And belonging actually acts as a complicated process where we recognize each other's humanity and our interconnectedness to each other, but also our right and responsibility to co-create and co-inhabit the world we live in. So I leave you with this question. Do we have a large, inclusive we that people belong and participate in? Or do we have a narrow we where we build walls that exclude everyone we think does not belong? Choice is yours. As the greatest thing you can give anyone is your attention, I thank you.